Great. All right. How are you doing? I know we already asked this. Your makeup looks amazing.
Yeah, I did it myself.
You look gorgeous, girl. I'm just gonna get right into it if
Compliment.
that's okay.
Do it.
Let's do it. All right. So, first of all, you celebrated your birthday last night. Happy
Mhm.
belated
Thank
birthday.
you. It was really fun. We went to Blend. I know the owners there. It's like a really fun gay bar, so we just had to do it up. It was really fun. I'm very sad
And
this morning because of it.
I can imagine, what was it like watching it with everyone? Like, what were some of the biggest moments that they reacted to?
This isn't the first time I've watched it with other people, but I don't really watch it anymore. It like upsets me too much. So the first time we watched it was at Foxwoods. And it was really fun to see the crowd's reaction. They laughed at so many things. They had no idea what was going on, so they're so excited about everything. It's like watching like an infant see things for the first time, truly. It's like, oh my God, like your first steps, like or like the first time they meet Santa, and you're like, oh, I've already been here. I was here 7 months ago. In like a year. Oh yeah, that happened last year. I don't really watch it anymore though, because I just don't like to see it. I don't like to see like what the other girls are saying. And I just like I get the highlights. Like I have Rich watch it for me, and then he'll tell me like what I need to know. I lived it. You know what I mean? So like I'm good. So I actually spent most of last night like out in the other bar, like chatting with a bunch of gay guys, which is what I want to do all the time anyways. But you could hear like laughing or like different things in the other room, and it's like I'm glad they love it. It's the number one show, so obviously like people are loving it.
Yeah, what do you owe that success to?
I mean, I think it's just because we're all, for the most part, being ourselves. Like, I mean, Bravo's very good at this. Like, they know what they're doing. So I don't know. Like, it's a mixture of Rhode Island being great. I think too, like places like Rhode Island or Salt Lake where it's like a different culture in a little community. And like, you can't just recreate that everywhere, but like, it works.
I am very surprised to hear that you don't watch it, but I can
Yeah.
kind of understand
It
it,
just
even just
started.
to protect that
Yeah.
mental piece
It
of
just
it.
started. It was like the first couple episodes. I was a journalist for so long, so I'm watching things and I'm hearing things and I'm clocking things and I'm like roller coaster ride every episode. Like I just don't want to live that way.
I get that. I totally get that.
Maybe
I
I'll
mean,
watch
so
them all before the reunion, like a binge or something. But for now, I'm like, I'll just enjoy it. I experienced it. Whatever. I get the
I get it.
highlights. Rich tells me
Give
the highlights. He's like, here's what you need to know. And I'm like, oh, that sucks. Okay.
Speaking of Rich, can I just tell you one of the lines from Sunday night's episode where
Yeah.
he said, "That's bad mistress etiquette." I
Yeah.
mean, I have laugh out loud moments every week, but that
Yeah.
really sent me.
I was like, excuse me, like, do you know mistresses that have better etiquette? Like, what are you talking about? But that was really funny. He's very funny. He constantly, I said he was corny a couple weeks ago, and he really is, but he's very funny. He doesn't even mean to be. I don't know where he
He's
came
what
up with that one, really.
It was really funny, and I enjoyed it. Now, speaking of the whole mistress situation, I know
Yeah.
maybe you didn't see this part, but as soon as Rulla got on FaceTime with Liz and said, "Oh, I think she said Brian dropped me off." Rosie, you had this look on your face, like you went
Yeah.
wide-eyed. So if you could kind of, if you remember, take me through it and
Yeah.
what you were thinking in that situation.
Well, we were hearing different things on the bus, and we knew that Joellen had things up her sleeve, and I think that I was just like a viewer. Like a lot of the time when it's not targeted at me, I really like don't know what's going on. That's why I ask so many questions. I get upset, but it's like I'm trying to figure out what's going on. I'm trying to figure out like does A plus B equal C or like does A plus B equal like pineapple? Like a lot of these things like don't make sense. So I'm like you guys, like I just experienced it a year ago, but I'm literally like, what? Like and my facial expressions, as much Botox as I get, it doesn't seem to help. I just keep having those like really, yeah, I'm usually just in shock. Like I just, it's like you guys, like what is happening? Like
I would not be doing my job, and I know you can appreciate
yeah.
this, if I didn't ask about the whole Kelsey
Mhm.
tagging you
Yeah.
situation. Was there a discussion about, okay, I will tag you, or
No.
okay, so that never happened?
So, I mean, I reached out to Kelsey, I think it was like February of 2024, I knew Alicia, I knew a couple of the other girls, and I was trying to figure out ways to hang out with different people. And so I saw on Instagram that she was starting to cut hair. She was like in hair school or something. And I have the DMs where it's like, I was like, oh my God, you cut hair. Could you cut my hair? You know, I have a hairdresser who just retired. I'd love to like see somebody else. Like I could have gone to Alicia. She used to cut hair. You know, I have other friends that cut hair, but I was like, this would be a good excuse to spend time with this girl. We set up an appointment. I told her what I wanted. She cut my hair. She did a good job. And I Venmoed her money. I sent her a very nice text saying how great she did. I even sent her referrals. A couple of my friends went to her afterwards. I didn't hear anything about this for 6 months until we were suddenly on the boat. And I'm like, oh, I'm like an asshole who doesn't support local businesses. Like, oh, good to know. Like, kind of my whole career up until this point was doing that. So that, you know, just support people. I was like, wow. I mean, if she had texted me after I sent the nice text, like, I think it was like the next day or maybe like a couple hours later, again, February. So it's like, it's been a while. You know, I would have 100% posted. If she had been like, oh, I'm so glad you liked it. Could you have Rich take a picture and I'll post it or whatever? I would have been like, absolutely. Like, but that just was never a conversation. I was never asked to do that. I didn't think she cared. Like, you know, it didn't, I paid you and I sent you a nice message. And if she wanted me to post, I would have. But it's very interesting that it's now, it's just, you know, it is what it is. But it's like my wine. I can't bring the right wine. I can't bring the right gifts. And I can't do anything right, you know? So it makes sense that 6 months later I'm hearing about this too. But I had new extensions by the time I'm being yelled at. So I can't even post it. The haircut's gone, you know?
I get it. Rosie Rose when, by the way? We need a
Oh,
Rosie
pretty
Rose.
soon. I'm hoping. I'm talking to some people and I'm like, you guys, we gotta make like a cheap wine.
She
Like,
fine.
you
You're a
know.
Disney girly. I need the Disney Channel Mount Rushmore.
Ooh, that's so hard. Okay. Off the top of my head, just off the top of my head, I'm
Off
not
the
thinking
dome.
deep into this. I would have to do like, you know, Earth Day, the song from Earth Day when they were all singing it. That's my Mount Rushmore. I went to Demi Lovato on Wednesday for my birthday in Boston, and I was like, okay, like it's Earth Day, it's April 22nd. Like, do you think she'll bring out like the Jonas Brothers, Selena, Miley, and they'll all sing like the Earth Day song? And you know, like da, na, 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 na. You know
But
exactly
she,
what I'm talking
yes.
about.
And so they didn't, but they didn't come out or
No
anything.
guest. She had no guest,
Ah,
first of all. So I was like, okay, well, okay, screw me. But like also, this was the perfect opportunity to reunite the Earth Day group and like sing the Earth Day song.
missed opportunity. So you're saying Demi, Selena, Jonas Brothers, Miley.
Miley. Yeah, I would say
Yeah.
so. I mean, that was like, you know, I was really watching it probably 2005 to 2010. So like they are my Mount Rushmore, but that's way too many people to have on Mount Rushmore, right?
The Jonas Brothers can fit in one.
I mean, look, if we're going with back then, it would have been Nick. Nick, Selena, Miley, Demi. But now I'm a big Kevin girl. I
Ah,
saw him at the Jonas Brothers concert and I
because
was
we
like,
grew
guys,
up.
plot twist. I love a hot dad, and he is a hot dad. But then I go back and forth. I'm such a flip-flop. I'm like, I love Nick, and then I love Joe, and then I love Kevin, and then I'm like, oh, but Nick, and then I'm like back to Joe. I just can't decide. How am I supposed to decide? Especially now that Kevin's hot. Like, who saw that one coming? Nobody. Well,
Plot
except for
twist. Guys,
Danielle.
thank you so much,
Hi, of
Rosie.
course.
Thank you.
See you
I'll see you
soon.
soon.
We're making waves and keeping it real. It's Real Talk Rhody with Bekah Berger.